Hi, welcome to Two-Face the Nation. I'm Margaret, sitting down with JD Vance. Mr. Vice President, before we get started, there's something important I think you should know. My pronouns are she, him.
I don't really care, Margaret.
Your insensitivity causes me deep pain, and you're just okay with that?
Of course.
Okay. Tulsi Gabbard was just confirmed as the Director of National Intelligence. Now, as a conservative, it must be really tempting to just do memes and posts about how hot she is.
We have done a lot.
Right? I mean, if you look at Twitter, it's only Tulsi is hot memes, no posts supporting her character or qualifications.
Many of them were, though, Margaret.
I don't know. I didn't see any. But nonetheless, it appears as though the biggest division within the Conservative Party is the debate about who's hotter, Tulsi or Kristi Noem.
I agree, Margaret.
The party could fall. Now, many people were against Tulsi, and for good reason. She defended Edward Snowden. She's been labeled as a Russian asset by Hillary Clinton, who's got a great track record, and she's not even trans. What makes you think she's qualified to be the Director of National Intelligence?
She has impeccable character, impeccable record of service, and she also is a person who I think is going to bring some trust back to the intelligence services.
Wait, bring back trust to intelligence services? JD Vance, are you implying that there's some kind of ethos of mistrust within our agencies? I find that rather disturbing.
The bureaucrats at our intelligence services have gotten completely out of control. They've been part of the weaponization of our political system, the weaponization of our justice system.
Madam Vice President, my producer is in my ear telling me to interrupt you, so I am. Oh, and now I'm being instructed to say that on behalf of our network, I condemn your statements about our justice system being weaponized and our agencies being untrustworthy. Simply appalling. Ooh, news alert. JFK files to be released implicating the CIA in the assassination. Let's move on.
But let me just address this particular issue, Margaret.
Nope. Pete Hegseth, another controversial pick. I mean, the guy has a tattoo, for God's sakes. Can I ask you about Pete?
Sure.
Pete and Repeat were in a boat. Pete jumped out. Why do you think he did that?
Well, look, I think Pete is a disruptor, and a lot of people don't like that disruption.
I should think not. How long have you had that beard?
About as long as I've been alive.
Nice. Now, on the campaign trail, you and Trump made a lot of promises, and one of them was to bring down the price of groceries. And you've been in office for less than a month now, and during that time, you'd think you would have brought down all the prices, but you haven't. They've gone up, and they're only going to go more up.
No, Margaret, prices are going to come down.
Are they? They are? Well, I think you're an asshole.
Don't really care, Margaret.
Stop saying my name like that. It really bothers me.
Don't really care, Margaret.
You don't care about anything. Like, specifically bacon. What are you personally gonna do to lower the price of bacon?
Well, but Margaret, how does bacon get to the grocery store?
I mean, I honestly don't know. Horseback? FEMA. Trump is talking about eliminating that rather great agency. And when you look at the good job that FEMA always does in places like Maui, North Carolina, Florida, California, how do you expect American people to survive natural disasters without FEMA?
FEMA in North Carolina, in California, in Florida with some of the hurricanes has often been a disaster.
Incorrect. Trump just wants to cut FEMA. How are you okay with that?
Well, the president, to be clear, is not saying we're going to leave anybody behind. He's saying that in the way that we administer these resources, some of which is coming from the federal level, some of which is coming from the state level, we've got to get the bureaucrats out of the way and get the aid to the people who need it most.
What if bureaucrats in the way is how you get aid to the people?
As Margaret, when I went to North Carolina as VP-elect, but before we were sworn in, people would talk about how FEMA would get resources, food, medicine, water to a warehouse, but then would have no plan to get it from the warehouse to the people in the mountains who were literally starving and thirsting to death.
Mr. Vice President, everyone has to die at some point. Immigration. You and Trump have made some radical changes to Biden's rather good immigration policy. You had a great one in place. Changing it seems bad. We're a country founded by immigrants.
Just because we were founded by immigrants doesn't mean that 240 years later that we have to have the dumbest immigration policy in the world.
Maybe it does mean that. And besides, every single immigrant, and I'm talking every single man, woman, child, murderer, terrorist, has been vetted properly.
Well, Margaret, I don't agree that all these immigrants or all these refugees have been properly vetted. In fact, we know that there are cases of people who allegedly were properly vetted and then were literally planning terrorist attacks on our country. That happened during the campaign, if you may remember. So clearly not all of these foreign...
Interrupting, they're all vetted.
Just like the guy who planned a terrorist attack in Oklahoma a few months ago, he was allegedly properly vetted, and many people in the media and the Democratic Party said that he was properly vetted. Clearly he wasn't.
He sounds properly vetted.
I don't want my children to share a neighborhood with people who are not properly vetted.
I want your children to share a neighborhood with people who aren't properly vetted.
Don't really care, Margaret. I don't want that person in my country, and I think most Americans agree with me.
Last question. Did we fake the moon landing?
Of course.
Thought so. JD Vance, thank you for sitting down with me so I could try to capture some gotcha moments. For you taking this time, I feel grateful.
I don't really care, Margaret.
I hate that. Oh, hi, I didn't see you there. I'll tell you the two biggest things that can slow me down in life are poor energy and stress. So, because I like to take responsibility over my health and well-being, I'm always looking for powerful tools that can help reduce my stress and improve my energy. That's why I'm currently on one of those tools, my Bond Charge Infrared PEMF mat. Infrared PEMF therapy helps reduce inflammation, boost mitochondrial function, which means more energy, improves circulation, reduces pain, improves sleep, and balances the nervous system, which helps with that stress. And after my sessions on my Bond Charge Infrared PEMF mat, I like to get inside my Bond Charge infrared sauna blanket. This is my favorite infrared sauna system on the market. It heats up super fast, super powerfully. The temperature is fully under your control. And with this 1-2 combo, it helps further improve my energy, melts away my stress, detoxifies my body, and helps me sleep better at night. I love what Bond Charge does, and they also offer you extra savings. All Bond Charge products are HSA, FSA eligible, giving you up to a 40% tax-free savings. If low energy and stress are obstacles in your life, then check out the Bond Charge Infrared PEMF mat and the Bond Charge Infrared Sauna Blanket. Just go to bondcharge.com/JP to check them out, and also use the discount code JP to get 15% off everything Bond Charge offers. Now, if you'll excuse me...